The president is dealing with a health concern. He's had a sore throat for weeks, and the White House says an unexpected hospital visit this weekend revealed he has acid reflux. But the president isn't the only one dealing with this health issue. Approximately 7 million people in the U.S. have some symptoms of GERD. Dr. Mark Noar with Endoscopic Microsurgery Associates is joining us this morning with a look at the issue. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so you hear it, first of all, discussed in two different ways. Acid reflux, GERD. Same thing?
Well, GERD is a larger syndrome, meaning all forms of reflux.
Okay.
So acid reflux a lot of times is people are talking about reflux and symptoms in the chest area or the esophagus, meaning burning or discomfort. But the entire GERD syndrome can also include just silent reflux, which means the throat may be involved. I think the president may have.
And what's happening when you have GERD? What's causing the acid reflux? What's causing the discomfort?
Well, what happens is the sphincter muscle that guards against stomach contents coming up back into the esophagus has become loose over time, and so what happens is that stomach content, which contains acid, which is very acidic, bile, which is very basic, and then digestive enzymes, one known as pepsin, gets up into the esophagus and frequently into the throat. And when it gets into the throat in particular, it can cause a lot of problems like sleep apnea, sore throat, chronic cough, voice changes is another very important one.
And so how do you know when it's something that you need to go see a doctor about versus, you know, people just pop the little tablets to try to calm it down?
Sure. I mean, there are some alert symptoms that we want to think about. So if you're having difficulty swallowing, if you're having some difficulty breathing, waking up in the middle of the night choking is another example. But any type of symptoms that are outside of the norm for you that last more than a day or so, that would be the reason to go and see your physician.
And then you brought this in with you. What is that? And this is part of what the president would have gone through.
Well, and so, again, the president had an examination looking at his throat, which demonstrated redness. Now, not all redness is reflux. This could be allergy-based. It could be due to smoking, although he doesn't do that anymore. But this is a device which is a laryngeal probe, and what we do with this is this sits through the nostril in the back of the throat, behind that little hangy down part in the throat called the uvula, and it will sense if gastric contents are being brought up into the larynx, into the throat, and then adhering and causing inflammation. This is the one test that diagnoses that, and then we can move to treatment. Which is
because that's what the people who out there have it, the 7 million people want to know what to do.
So typical treatment may be initially lifestyle changes, something that may be very difficult for the president or for people nowadays, such as don't eat within 3 to 4 hours of bedtime. Avoid caffeine, chocolate, alcohol, peppermint. These are things that loosen the sphincter and so therefore cause more reflux. The thing would be try and avoid stress. Good luck on doing that in his job.
Well, a lot of these are difficult. I mean, those are real lifestyle changes.
Those are real lifestyle changes, but that would be the first step. The second step may be medications to help limit the amount of acid produced in the stomach. And then a step up above that, if you're not responding, is something that we've talked about before called the Stretta procedure, which is a non-invasive endoscopic procedure which actually is regenerative medicine and causes tightening and bulking up of the sphincter so there's no more reflux.
All right, very interesting. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming in.
You're very welcome.
Coming up, the latest now in the investigation into a fatal plane crash in Gaithersburg. We have details of the aircraft and what neighbors say they heard before that plane came crashing down.